G'day, Spuddy Spudsters, Spudstaroos. It's, I hope it's not too noisy here. I'm walking through the city of Melbourne down Swanston Street, and I'm on my way to get a DEXA scan done. I haven't had one because I didn't think about it really, and I hadn't really heard of it until recently. So I wish I had it done at the start of the year, but anyway, it's never too late, so we can at least measure what happens from now until the end of the year. A DEXA scan, from what I understand, a DEXA scan measures basically your body composition, so how much fat you've got, how much muscle you've got, what your bone density, bone mineral density is, water content of your body, all of that. So we'll be able to use that and test again later in the year and see if my bones are shriveled and brittle from having not enough calcium, and see if I actually have any muscle left on my body at all at the end of the year, or maybe if I've put some muscle on, and see what happens with other things as well. I guess they'll explain it better when I get there. Anyway, on top of that, it's weigh-in day today, and I'm happy. I've lost another 1.1 kilos. There's a busker over there, a tram. So I've lost another 1.1 kilos. I think that's close to 2.5 pounds. So I now weigh 118.5 kilos, 33.2 kilos down for the year. Only got another 3 kilos to go and I'll be as light as I've been in my adult life, so that's pretty good. Anyway, I'm going to keep walking. I might see if I can find a potato to eat somewhere, and then I'll take you and show you what this DEXA scan's all about. Oh, okay, it's working. I forgot to show you, but I went to an Asian restaurant who did a delicious shredded potato and chili dish. And so I've had my fill now, and I've walked around to 200 Queen Street in Melbourne to City Medical. Can you see that? Hang on, you can't see that behind me. So there we are, City Medical, and I think the DEXA scan place actually, well, it's in there, but I think it's got a different name. Maybe it comes under a different business or something. But anyway, I'm going to City Medical, 200 Queen Street, Melbourne. I've filled out my paperwork, and I'm ready to go. I'm just waiting for the appointment, and I've got the green light to film it all, so yeah, we'll see how we go. Should be interesting. Alright guys, this is Dr. Matt, who's going to do my DEXA scan today. So can you tell us a little bit about what we're doing?
Yep, well, we're going to, a DEXA scan is really the most accurate way to measure body composition that there is. It basically is very, very reproducible test. In other words, there's minimal error each time you do it. So if there's any changes in fat, for example, then it's true. There's no, or very minimal measurement error. So it's a way of really getting a baseline for most people in terms of how much fat usually is a bit of interest for most people, how much fat they've got, and therefore, and where they sit in terms of that, whether they have to lose any fat or whether they're okay. And then it's a matter of tracking fat loss, hopefully as time goes by.
And does it measure anything else other than fat? Or?
Yep, so it splits you up into 3 components, into bone, into fat, and to lean, okay? So bone is bone, fat is fat, lean is a whole lot of stuff put into one category. So lean includes like skin, organs, water in every cell of your body, stomach and bowel and bladder contents, and then there's muscle and ligaments and tendons, etc. So muscle is part of lean, but not the only bit.
Alright, cool. And I should ask you about where we are as well. What's your business called?
This is called Body Scan. So we're located at 200 Queen Street, and we're about to get a mobile truck with a DEXA scanner in the back.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is going to go around to gyms.
Alright. And do you have a website?
Yep, www.bodyscan.com.au.
Alright, cool.
And a Facebook page.
And can people find your Facebook page through your website, or just look up Body Scan on Facebook?
Look up Body Scan on Facebook.
All right, cool. let's do this scan then. Let's get the scan done, and we'll talk about results soon.
There you go, you can hop off there. What up?
Alright. Cool, not too painful.
There you go. I think I might have,
Okay, the scan's done, so we're about to go through some results. So over to Matt.
Okay, so what the scan does is split you up, as I said before, into bone, lean and fat. So this is mass in kilograms. That's your weight and that's your percent fat, all right? So in terms of fat, at the moment you're carrying just over 36 kilograms of fat.
Yep.
So what does that mean? Well, this is a graph which is specific to you. So as you can see, the red dot, that's the first point in the series of scans, which is just at above 36 kilograms of fat. Now these categories down here are based on your size and your sex. Okay, so the bigger you are, taller, wider, you have more surface area, you get to carry more fat, as opposed to someone that's skinny and small or short. And females get to carry more fat than males. All right. So it's adjusted for size and sex, so it's normally quite reflective of someone's true level of fatness. So I'm saying, from a general health point of view, I reckon your target in terms of fat would be just about 20 kilograms of fat, as opposed to your 36 kilograms of fat. So you've got about 16 kilograms to go to get to the top of the healthy zone.
So about half what I've done again.
Exactly.
All right.
So, and that would be sort of the bare minimum. It is possible, and it depends on what you want to do, but it is possible. Lots of people want to get down to the bottom of the green zone, the lean zone, which is about 20 kilograms of fat away from you, or from where you are now. If anyone gets down to the bottom of the green zone,
so that was a question I was going to ask actually, because lots of people have thought with my rate of fat loss that I might end up getting too skinny. So at what point would you say I need to do something to stop the weight loss, if there is a point?
Well, too skinny, well, it depends what you mean by skinny. If you're talking about muscle loss...
I mean fat loss, if I lost too much fat,
Well, I reckon you're about, bodybuilders get, on the day of the contest, get down to the bottom of the blue zone.
Okay.
Right? So that would be, very unlikely that you'd want to get down there.
Yeah.
So but even that's not too skinny, because people live there. I've got people that are living down here who aren't bodybuilders, are in their 50s.
Yeah.
If anyone gets to the bottom of the green on the image, so this is you.
Yeah.
So 2D image, color-coded for the tissue type. So yellow's fat, red's muscle, blue's bone.
Yeah.
If anyone gets down to the bottom of their green zone, normally you won't see any yellow at all on the trunk.
Yeah.
Right, that'll be a red outline. You'll still have fat on the hips, not so much because it comes off everywhere. But that's visually what you would look like at the bottom of the green. So as I said, that's about 20 kilograms of fat away from you.
Okay.
So it normally matches up pretty well.
Yeah.
Right? So it gives you a visual target and also a numbers target.
Yeah.
So, and that's certainly not too low.
Yeah.
That's very lean. Lots of people around in their 50s and 40s and younger, obviously, are around here and even the top half of the blue. So that's perfectly fine. There's no health consequences of that.
Yep.
So anywhere in the yellow and the green, from a general health point of view, is perfectly fine.
Okay.
All right.
No worries. So
that's
around 100 kilos would be a pretty good goal to have then.
Yes, that would be reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got 16 kilograms of fat to lose.
Yep.
When you lose the weight on the scale, it's not always fat. Not all of it's fat.
Yeah.
Sometimes people come back and they lose, say, 10 kilograms on the scale weight. 5 of it's fat and 5 of it's lean, which is usually water.
Yeah. Okay.
Could be a bit of muscle, I guess, if you lose lots and lots of weight. But often it's mostly fat, so it's hard to predict how it's going to go. So weight loss does not necessarily equate with fat loss.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
So in terms of working out what weight you might be at the end of the day, it's a little bit hard to work
Yeah.
out because we don't know how much water you're going to lose.
Yeah.
It sort of doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's about the fat.
Yeah. So going by that graph,
Mm.
I'm on 36 kilos of weight
Of
fat.
fat,
Sorry,
yeah.
I keep saying weight, but I
Yep.
should say fat. And if I got down to say 15 kilos of fat,
So down here, yeah.
so that'd be a pretty reasonable goal.
That'd be a good compromise.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
But certainly doable.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Well, we've got plenty of time left in the year to see what happens with that.
Now, just to show you a bit more,
Yep.
with I can work out from your scan data, the lean mass data really,
Yeah.
what your resting metabolic rate is
Yeah.
reasonably well,
Okay.
and therefore how many calories you might need to consume to lose fat.
Yeah. All right.
If that's the way you want to go about it. Counting calories is one way to do it. It's not the only
Yeah.
way, but it's a numbers way of talking about
I'm
it.
just going by. I'm interested in hearing this, but
Yeah.
all I'm doing
You're
is
just eating potatoes.
I'm just eating as much as I feel like, whenever I feel like,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
trying not to go hungry. That's all I'm doing. But it's still interesting to hear this. So yeah, still talk about it.
Based on your lean mass from the scan, I can work out your resting metabolic rate about 2,400 calories a day. All right, so that's complete rest, lying down.
So if I was in bed all day, I would.
Yeah,
I'd
in
bet
bed,
about
not,
that.
not asleep, but in bed, just lying down, resting. You'd burn about that many calories
watching
per day.
Netflix.
Watching Netflix per day.
Yeah.
And so that's based on how much muscle mass we think you've got, which
Yeah.
is really based on the lean mass that we measure.
Yeah,
And there are
okay.
standard formulas we use.
Yeah.
So that's your resting metabolic rate, which is the basis of working out what your calorie intake should be to
Yeah.
lose fat or to maintain it.
Okay.
So the next thing, so that's your base, that's doing nothing. Then we need to add all the calories that you would be reasonably expected to burn over and above lying in bed doing nothing, but not including exercise. So doing your daily things. So
Yeah.
eating, drinking, having a shower, etc., etc. Normally it's about 20% of your resting metabolic rate, and that's that number there, about 480 calories a day. It's a guesstimate because it's, you can't really do better than that.
Yeah.
And then for any exercise you do, I plug in 300 calories of exercise per day, which is quite a lot, just as a number to put in there. But
I've been training fairly hard, so that's probably
so
reasonable.
if all those things are reasonably true, you're burning up about just under 3,200 calories per day, roughly on average.
Yep.
So if you eat that many calories on average and you burn that many calories on average, from a fat point of view, you go nowhere.
Yeah.
You're breaking even.
I think I'm hitting a little bit below 3,000.
You must be if
around
you've lost 30
3,000.
kilograms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if you ask me how many calories should you eat, I would tell you about 2,400 per day for fat loss.
Right. Well, I'm definitely eating more than that, but not as much as what you've got on the total thing there.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a guesstimate. It's an initial guesstimate to get you going. You do what you do, and then we measure it down the track, and we see what's happening. So if you're losing fat at a good rate, doesn't matter how many calories you're eating, then that's confirmation that what you're doing is working, and the advice would be keep doing it.
Yeah.
And if it's not working, if you're roughly not much happening, then you need to either reduce what you're eating or increase your exercise, or a bit of both.
Yeah. Okay.
And get a calorie deficit going. So that's roughly how I do it. But there are 1,000 different ways to achieve a calorie deficit.
Okay. And you've got data there on the weight of my bones as well. Is that right? Is that how that works? Or
yeah, this is bone mass in kilograms.
Yeah.
It's really dry bone or mineral bone.
Okay.
The water content of bone gets put into lean.
Okay. Yeah.
Really, in terms of bone, we measure bone density.
Yeah.
Which is this page here.
Oh, okay. Because there have been people that have been worried that I wouldn't get enough calcium in my bone.
Well, they shouldn't be worried because you're completely fine.
Yeah.
This is bone density, so it's the amount of mineral bone per centimetre cube, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and that's a measure of how strong the bones are.
Okay.
Right? So what we do is we use a T-score and a Z-score. Okay, you're not old enough to get a T-score because you're under 50.
Yeah.
A Z-score basically compares your bone density with other males of your age.
Okay.
So anything greater than -2 is okay.
Yep.
You're positive 1.6, so you're 1.6 standard deviations above the average for your peer group.
All right.
So your bones are sort of moderately to more than moderately elevated in density, which is really good.
Okay. Cool.
So you're a big male, you're not going to have low bone density. It does happen, but it's a bit uncommon.
So we could, like, if I come back in 6 months or whatever, we could see a change in that?
Doubt it.
No? Okay.
Doubt it.
No worries.
No. So I think you'd be fine. Calcium's a minor player in bone density.
Yeah.
It's more about hormones. So
Yeah.
male hormone testosterone is the biggest contributor to bone density.
Okay.
And then the female ones as well, which
Yeah.
males also get, and females get the male one to a small degree. Then there's weight-bearing exercise. So,
Yeah.
you know, lifting weights, particularly heavy weights, is a good thing to do for bones.
Yeah, well,
And then-
started that this week, so we'll see.
And then there's vitamin D and calcium.
Yeah,
You know,
okay.
Vitamin D from the sun helps absorption of calcium. It's
Yeah.
a bit of a minor player.
Yeah, okay.
So your bones will be fine, I guarantee you.
All right, no worries. Well, cool then. Oh, well, can we look at muscle weight as well? Is that
Well,
something?
as I said, we
So
get
that's just the
the,
rest,
the
the
category is
leftover. Okay.
lean.
Yeah.
Muscle's part of it,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's not the only bit.
yeah.
It's
Okay.
probably only 20-30% of the total of
Yeah,
lean,
yeah. Okay.
depending on the individual.
Yeah.
Most of it's water.
Okay.
And water can go up and down a couple
Yeah.
of kilograms in one day.
So it'd be hard it'd be hard to measure if I'm spending time in the gym trying to build muscle. It'll be hard to measure that using this because I might have
Yeah.
higher or lower water content on
Exactly.
that day.
So
Okay.
the water is the noise
Yeah.
from scan to scan. I
Yeah.
have scanned lots of bodybuilders, but
Yeah.
males mostly, and females sometimes, who have the aim of putting on muscle over
Yeah.
time. It will reflect it if you
Yeah.
have a number of measurements over a reasonable length of time and the
Yeah.
trend is clearly up,
Yeah.
and you're lifting heavier things.
Yeah. Yeah.
That reflects muscle mass
Yeah.
gain.
So maybe.
So it's a long-term project.
Yeah. 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 All right.
Yeah.
And I'm tracking what I do in the gym anyway, so I can see if I'm lifting heavier weights.
If you're
and that'll
lifting
be-
heavier
yeah.
and heavier and heavier things,
Yeah.
muscle responds to load.
Yeah.
So if the load is increasing, albeit slowly,
Yeah.
there's a good chance that muscle will be increasing at some point.
Okay. Cool.
So that's a better way to
Yeah.
initially track muscle.
All right. Cool. Well, I think we've covered it then, have we?
I think that's about all to say.
All right. Cool. Well, thank you for your generosity in scanning me this afternoon.
That's all right.
And check out bodyscan.com.au if you are interested in this.
Sure. Then hold this up.
All right. I just got home from the DEXA scan, and we've got Adam, was it? Adam, cameraman, and Matt, producer from the project. They're set up and filming, and they've been interviewing Mandy.
Hello.
Mandy's done an interview, and Teddy's been keeping quiet like a good boy.
Oh, he hasn't. He's just been taken away by Mum.
Well, there'll be no singing in the background of the project videos anyway. Hello, Mum.
Hello, darling.
Say hello to the world of YouTube.
Hello, YouTube. I don't know.
So there you go. I've had my DEXA scan. Like I said, I wish I did that at the start of the year, but oh well, nothing I can do about it now. Body weight's dropped. Full disclosure, bodyscan.com.au, which is the place where I went to get my DEXA scan. Matt, who was the guy in the video that you just watched, he kindly and generously offered to do that for me for free. So I'm not getting paid or anything, but I did get that for free, and it was very generous and kind of him to do that, which is why I'm trying to repay that favour by sharing his business name and website with you. So if you're in Melbourne and want to get that done, he was very good, very thorough, and I'm not just saying that because he gave me a free one. He actually was very good, and I think the video explains, shows how good he was and how thorough he was, and he was a good guy to talk to, and I'm looking forward to going back. Anyway, enough of the ad. I'm happy that I lost 1.1 kilos. I'm happy with the DEXA scan. It provided useful information. I'm looking forward to seeing how that changes. And the project is, pretty sure, they can't be 100% sure because things happen and events change in news, but they're pretty sure it's going to air around Australia on Tuesday night coming up. So that'll be cool. Look, it's been fun to shoot, and it hasn't been on yet because they just wanted some extra footage, and that's what we did this afternoon. So cool. I'm looking forward to that. I'm nearly at 10,000 likes on Facebook. That's exciting. Everything's good. Thanks for watching. Spud up.